Thanks, Rafa. We are back with Game 2 of No Org versus Golden Guardians Academy. My name is Matt Iberian Daniel, and he is Thomas TJ James, looking mischievous for some reason. And I'd like to start the desk with an intro. The Merriam-Webster dictionary defines a banger as British sausage. Okay, that's not what I thought it would say. But that's what we've got on our hands in terms of this series. We've already got No Org taking down Golden Guardians Academy and what our analysts were expecting, but I honestly was kind of surprised by. I was expecting there to be a little bit of a bigger gap there.
Matt, you had literally 10 minutes to Photoshop in the end screen from that game in below the definition of banger. And
That's
then
true.
You could have been like, hey, the dictionary defines a banger as, and it would have been fantastic.
I just have my notes. That's all I have.
That is way too bright. I can't. All right.
It really is.
Welcome to Draft. It's
like
time
me.
for game number 2. I'm using the back pockets on my jeans. Over on the left-hand side, the Golden Guardians are on the right again, and we are going to get very similar bans from No Org. They want to get rid of the same things that got them that game 1, understandably enough. That's going to be Tally's Gragas in the top lane.
I want to see if there's going to be any adaptations coming in from Golden Guardians Academy, though, because I definitely feel like Viper's Callista, really scary, but I think the bigger catalyst there was Anda's Nidalee, which, while didn't come away with, like, the most kills in the game, pretty sure came away with 0 deaths, and I want to say 15 assists and 3 kills, somewhere around there.
I'm very much on the same page. I think that the more, like, obviously Anda's Nidalee was terrifying, but also it completely removed Rosethorn from the game. And Rosethorn, we didn't talk about enough during game number 1, is a newer player, is clearly a developing talent, and anytime you can knock an enemy team's jungler, especially someone who wants to be as individually impactful as Rosethorn, out of the game entirely, you are getting double your value. Yes, Anders finding kills of his own, but also Rosethorn isn't showing up at all. That will complete our ban phase. Golden Guardians get rid of Anders Udyr and value Senna. Kai'Sa will be banned out by No Org alongside the Rel. Bot lane focuses for both sides.
They really want to remove that weak side play there from value, but too experienced in AD carry for that to happen. But interestingly enough, No Org rushing in that Thresh first pick.
Says to me that No Org would like to have a little bit more engage out of Big this time. I'm sure that the Tom Kench was fun. They enjoyed Big being able to roam across the map and be a terrifying frogman. But what if he had a hook man?
It's a great question, TJ. I guess we're going to find out in this game. But on the other side, Golden Guardians picking up. We talked about Yunbi's rise last game. Oh, nice. Like to see them lock that in.
The other reason you would pick a Thresh is if you wanted to pick a Felios second pick. And that is sure what we get. Value will lock that in, so it's going to be Thresh and Felios. The rise on the opposite side from TGAs, I believe you were about to point out, from Yunbi, is a direct counter of 5 Fire's Twisted Fate, which will bring up now because it was 5 Fire's turn to pick, and I was curious if he picked for himself what we're going to get there in a minute.
I'm interested. Is that going to be an AD or AP Twitch? Because if it's AP, hell yeah, Chime, get it. I believe that Desk was talking about AP Twitch going on there for Golden Guardians.
Played AP Twitch earlier in this tournament. You can see our champ stats down below. That is just Challenger's Uprising stats. It has been played once. That was Prismal. He did play at AP. He did not win. Those are the stats at this time. And we will see if he can turn that around.
The ban's, of course, going down towards that bottom lane, but the Nautilus ban kind of has me puzzled a little bit there, TJ, considering that we know that in the past this has been an AP support Twitch. Continuing to ban out supports tells me that No Org either did not see that or assume it's going to be AD carry for some reason.
I'm interested. No Org do have plenty of options here. Golden Guardians, I want to draw your attention towards their bans. Because you would almost draw the assumption from them that they were a little bit worried about 5 Fire. that they were a little bit invested in making sure Five Fire didn't get a comfort pick here in Phase 2.
I'm shocked. What about the last game could have given them the impression that Five Fire's scary? I guess the past 2 years in Amateur would be a good start for that.
Yeah. Doesn't take up an import slot, by the way. If anyone's looking for a mid laner that doesn't take up an import slot.
Noorg was right. My bad. That is going to be an 80 carry Twitch.
Yep, that was what they played previously, so I don't want to call you out, but it sure does hold to form. We get Yuumi in the support role here. That will be probably AP Twitch on Prismal, which is a shocking sentence to say, but I'm looking forward to it. We do get a Gnar out from Noorg. That will be up on the top side in the hands of Viper, which indicates to me that this is very likely a little bit less investment in that top side than we saw during game number 1, although it would be hard to have any more investment. This will probably be a step back down, and holding it. It's a hover map. We don't talk about those. Okay, fine. Right. That is locked in.
Woo!
That is Five Fire Zoe. He has like a 70% win rate on Zoe across amateur.
Something.
90 something? It's higher than I thought. It's gone up. He is genuinely terrifying. That is the pick on which he first rose to prominence here in Amateur. That is the pick on which he dominated games in Academy whilst he was playing on EG Academy during the Spring 2020 season. He is on a comfort pick despite their best efforts, and it's into a rise, and I like that matchup here for 5-5.
Yeah, I think going over Noorg's composition, I'm really happy with it. They have great team fighting. They have great pick potential just off the back of a Zoe. She's sort of a one-woman pick machine by herself alongside the Nidalee as well.
But on the Golden Guardians side, they do have a very cohesive draft. You do have the Olaf Yuumi threat, obviously. You also have a ton of, across the team, major burst damage. You look at the Jason Talismans, you look at the Rise, and they are going to struggle to win front-to-back team fights. They don't have a full-on tank in order to do that, but they have so much damage overall that if they can find these skirmishy picks, if they can start fights before Noorg realize they're in them, they will be able to absolutely detonate individual members, and especially a support like Thresh isn't going to be able to do a whole lot about that.
You know, normally, TJ, this is the point where I'd worry that it's an NA Jace, but luckily, since it's Tally, it was technically once an OPL Jace, so I think we're fine. I think we're fine in this one.
I really like this Golden Guardians draft. If I had to make a call, I would say this is looking real good for their game too.
Okay, I can see it. I just want to be looking out for this level 1 here, because as we know before, that was really where things went wrong for GGA last time. Worth noting before we get into this level 1, though, that Anda has gone from Conqueror to Dark Harvest, so just really leaning all in on that poke and siege alongside the Zoe in Five Fire's hands in mid. So, interesting to see that, and I'd like to see it play out as we head into team fights.
I'm going to be keeping my eye, of course, on that mid lane, where we do have Yunbi on his star. I believe he was a Rise 1 track, right? Into Five Fire, who I don't think was ever a 1-trick of anything, but is playing his comfort pick. So there's no way to paint that lane as not exciting.
TJ, I do have the stats thanks to our wonderful analyst, Matt Cubby Samuelson. Five Fire is 15-1 on Zoe, with a 94% resulting win rate. So damn. Five Fire gets an A+ for Zoe performance.
Okay. So as I was saying, I do really like this Golden Guardians draft. But everyone on Noorg does have their own, like, favorite pick. Right? Like, Values of Valios is really good. I suspect those stats are probably almost as bad. Or good, depending on which side you're on. Obviously, Anders Nidalee and Five Fire getting Zoe, like, they have their comfort picks across the map, and the only reason I sort of believe in Golden Guardians Academy regardless is that, oh my god,
Viper!
He flashes in!
The 1-for-1! Okay! Rosethorn's in trouble now, actually going to be able to turn it onto Anda. I'm still stunned by the top lane 1v1 as Rosethorn flashes forward onto Anda.
I got CC'd by that. Flash over the wall,
big.
full engage. This is a dive in. Rosethorn is gone. No Org are not taking any prisoners. They will chase Prisnal well behind the turret, and he has to barely stay alive. Chime's got the healing to make that happen.
Okay, that was one hell of a duel in the top lane. We can tell we are in for another banger up there, TJ, but also looking down bottom, that was a really good adaptation there from Anda, knowing that that 1v1 was pretty much doomed, and 5Fire rotating in, waiting for that before re-engaging. So really good map movement and coordination from NoOrg, and that is, I think, one of their many, many strengths here.
Oh, deep dive. Tally right back for round 2. Says, fight me, Viper. And wins out that trade big time.
Yeah, that's how this matchup is going to go for a while, because Jace does have such ludicrous all-in damage, and Gnar without Mega Gnar has nothing. Just really wins matchups, usually in range versus melee, by kiting people out. But Jace not only has poke, but pretty instant engage once you get into range. And Tally has been using that so far to just bully Viper off waves, bully him out of fights. Of course, that 1v1 didn't go quite the way Tally wanted it to, but it's close.
Well, okay. Do we know who got first blood? I was horrified at averting my eyes. Do we know who got first blood? Actually, I'm going to hold this thought.
It's Tally.
Flash in from Big.
Big looking for the stun. No death sentence to follow with the sleepy trouble bubble.
5Fire!
King of Zoe.
That was a drive-by. He was getting his coffee from the pickup window and just casually tossed a sleepy trouble bubble out the other side.
Big coming up for another roam. It's huge for the death sentence. Misses by a mile. Tally used the avoiding tactic of walking.
Yeah, he didn't even chain it. He just right-clicked behind the turret.
I feel for Big. We've all been there. However, Big's just like dead at this point. Tally will be answered at this point, finally. And somehow in the bottom lane, 1v2, Value finds a kill.
Value finds a kill onto Chime. Huh. Figure how that happened. Rune Prism will be deployed and the kill will be traded at least. Prismal with blood for our rat god. That is going to be AP Twitch, if you were holding out any disbelief.
AP Twitch 80 carry. So let's see what the hell happened down here. Did Value just
underneath
root
the
Chime? Yep, rooted under tower.
Rooted. Yeah, okay.
Beautiful.
Look, sometimes we get a little bit frisky.
It happens.
Mechanics from Value to pull out the Gravitum. That's what we all want to do to Yumis we see in lane, let's be real.
Value is living all of our best dreams out loud.
Okay, so there's no sugarcoating it. I just want to touch in on our overall game state here. NoOrg do have a truly massive early game, right? Same jungle advantage. Rosethorn is down 0-2. That CS lead isn't huge, but Anda isn't farming too much during this early game. He's just chain ganking. And that chain ganking has seeded a couple of kills in the top lane, Tally going down. And in the meantime, Value is up 2-1 in the bot lane. Like, not to put too fine a point on it, but there is a 1k gold lead to NoOrg at 5 minutes. This is real good for a team that has Aphelios and Zoe on.
And I think it's worth pointing out again that Value is usually the weak side, as we see a death sentence land there. A lot of damage onto Big, but it will eventually go down just from the poison there. Realm Warp up to the top side, but Yunvi not very successful on that roam this time.
But there is hope, and I would put that for GGA on Yunbi and Prismal. Also, Tally's doing weirdly good. We're not used to him being like a hard carry for this team, but he's doing good.
A lot of fights going on across the map. In the bottom lane, though, Value dives in onto Prismal. Big stunning up as long as he can. And Chime incredibly low as well. Value, one more auto. No! The cat gets away.
Here's Rosethorn fighting 5Fire. There's no way you win this, Rosethorn. I just don't believe it. Ragnarok will not protect him. Rosethorn is going to have to run away. 5Fire ready to go versus the 0-2 Olaf.
So good from 5Fire using the portal jump defensively with the paddle star. And I know it's Zoe mechanics, but it's 5Fire. That makes it special.
Right. Well, we won't talk about any more. Oh, okay, we can talk about
What about
those.
that one, TJ?
That's huge! Out as well! He's just dead, Matt.
Beautiful play coming out here from the roaming duo of the mid and jungle. So let's take a look back top with this one. Tally goes in and doesn't find the spear, but dives in regardless. And Viper just is able to kite out pretty safely here.
Ooh.
Barely living, so maybe not as safely as I would have liked, but...
Yeah, that was one shock blast away from a kill.
5-ick gamer. Thank you, Doc. The sick gamer that is 5fire.
Editorializing from our production team. I don't think it's a hot take, though. So, things have continued to spiral out of control. This looks like it is going to be a really, can I say, shot across the bow for our upcoming Tier 1 tournaments, where, of course, we will get our first taste of Academy teams having to play against amateur teams. And if I were an Academy team looking at this match, looking at GTA getting manhandled like they currently are, I would be drawing some rather terrifying conclusions for the sanctity of their proving ground slots.
Oh yeah, absolutely, especially because you look at the entire map and that is what is being dominated right now. Golden Guardians are desperate already. It is 8 minutes into the game and they are down massive leads.
There was Rosethorn trying to steal away a blue buff. I don't quite know what the thought process there was, because there was no way Rosethorn got away with it. Rosethorn will also auto-attack the Rift Herald exactly once, making that the blue buff and the Rift Herald as the two things that Rosethorn has autoed exactly once in the last minute or so. Neither takes any more damage.
He's actually tagging them so that he gets partial kill credit, like an MMO.
He's gonna get the assist as Anda comes through here to grab the Rift Herald.
So this is, yet again, Rosethorn doesn't feel like he has any options at this point into the game as Viper finds the 1v1 versus Tally. And actually, it just takes it entirely, even without Conqueror. He's able to win it, just decimating the Jace.
Anda was in the area. I'm here if you need me, bro, but you got this, says Anda. Giving his body the self-confidence he needs. 5fire will find a sleep in mid, but doesn't have the CDs to finish the kill. Still, Rift Herald picked up successfully for No Org. Free kill in the solo lane up top for No Org. They are looking like maybe they'll be an Org kind of soon, Matt.
I would not be surprised by that news whatsoever. Especially because we didn't really have time to highlight this during the draft because so much was going on, and especially every minute since has been pretty action-packed. But Value playing as the carry this game, and it's kind of hard to tell because everyone's fed, but he is definitely the one who has been most set up to carry between Viper and himself. And not only doing an okay job, but thriving. 3-1-0 on this Aphelios means that No Org are a much more dangerous team than I think people give them credit for, because it proves that they are able to find threats in 3 different lanes. And not only can they do that, they can adapt that just between 2 games in a best-of-3 series.
Yeah. Here's Prismal trying to step back up into lane. Does have Chime attached. Rosethorn as well. 3v3 being set up down bottom.
Not for long, though. Value has one of the strongest combinations for Aphelios damage-wise, and forced out of the jungle. But this tower, not long for this world.
No. Crescendum will make short work of it. Tally up in the top side is being chased down. Viper, for the second time, finds a solo kill in the top lane.
Viper, stop being so good. Give everyone else a chance to shine. 2 and 5 now on Tally just because of the incessant bullying from Viper. Time after time after time.
We'll finally see the final chapter engaged down here in the bot lane. Prismo wanted to play. Death sentence does not land. Value is smited. He is slowed. He is dead. But here comes the flag off of the TP. Yunbi in with the Realm Warp. Big is down. Here's 5fire trying to find something with Anda.
Looking for more, not able to find the sleep. Beautiful cleanse there from Prismal. Yunbi is low. Anda looking to poke out from the side. Finds a spear onto Prismal, but it will not be enough for them to want to engage in the 2v4.
Okay, so, Matt, Golden Guardians, 2 kills, unanswered in the bot lane. Oh, good lord! He stays alive thanks to the honey fruit.
Oh my god, 5fire, chill. Rosethorn now will have to heal up after that Scuttle Crab. But Firefire still looking for more. Oh my god, so is Big. Flash over.
With the lantern, Yunbi has to burn Flash as well to escape, and Rosethorn is tagged! He's tagged! I don't believe it! Rosethorn barely able to escape, but Yunbi's left for dead. He's going to go down. And there is your answer. No Org find a big kill in the bottom lane.
They're so good, TJ. They had 3 valid angles to find a kill, and they were just like, I guess we have to pick one. And granted, they did, something a lot of teams have failed to do before.
Not before they tried, like, all of them a little bit, though.
Yeah. They wanted to test the waters a little bit.
Buffet table, and he was like, well, what if I sleep this person? Well, what if I land the paddle star across the map onto this person? Eventually decided the one they liked the most was the kill onto Yunbi, and then destroying his turret. Rift Herald summoned behind it, turret 1 HP. All of that plague gold going onto Firefire.
Value gets the tower in the bottom lane as well, with a huge influx of gold. And now with that recent development, it's going to be 6k lead on the side of NoOrg, who have been in control since the beginning of the game, but I think Golden Guardians' agency is slipping away second by second.
Yeah, I mean, I want to take this moment because I know a lot of people are stepping in here on the Academy channel and going, well, who are these NoOrg people that are demolishing this game? They do have a lot of big stage experience. Firefire won't get that kill. But Firefire played EG Academy, Viper played in the LCS, on FlyQuest, on Dignitas, on Team Liquid Academy, and obviously as well LCS experience. Really the only two amateur players are Value and Big. Value coming out of that Maryville University super team that birthed the majority of the Golden Guardians main roster into the LCS.
Well, and even Big, and it was long ago and a name change ago, was in the LCS for a time, one split. Viper getting engaged on will immediately get shut down. So finally, Prismal and Chime, alongside the rest of Golden Guardians Academy, are finding a way back into the game. Just 1 kill so far, but there's still a light at the end of the tunnel, TJ.
Matt, they are only 5,000 gold behind, so continue talking them up.
You know, things can change, TJ.
Right. Well, you know, I am so rich that $5,000 doesn't seem like too much to me.
Of course. I should have known this.
It's that sick esports money I've been rolling on.
I know all about that with my no heating.
In Delaware.
Yeah, I'm fine. Prismal goes in again. Okay. Not as successful this time, though does nearly find Value. Final chapter. Value just ticks down, and now Big is in trouble as well. The full Venom stacks. The heal wasn't enough. Beautiful contaminate there. And this just shutdown after shutdown across the rest of the map.
Matt. Baby, I believe. Oh, Prismal is so much damage.
Oh my god.
What on earth is that?
It's still ticking.
He's dead.
Doesn't even have the heals.
That!
Yeah.
That's gross!
Yeah, a little bit. So, this is going to be hard to answer. So this is the fight we missed in the bottom lane. Firefire. Battlestar hits Rosethorn, which is when Firefire knows he done messed up. Gets taken out pretty easily there. But we've seen a succession of plays here from Prismal and Chime. Yet another one.
1v2. Death Sentence does slow him down. Gravitum as well.
Big's dead!
Still gets another kill. Prismal just quietly scales up in the bot lane. It has arrived in the mid game as the AP Twitch. That is one of the grossest things I've ever seen. And is now 7-1.
Suddenly, Golden Guardians Academy have spawned a win condition out of nowhere. Still behind 5k gold, but a 7-1-1 Twitch with 2 items is great. The only concern I have is that back when AP Twitch was first added into the game, essentially, because Riot made a patch that buffed Twitch's AP ratios so that it would be a viable build on him. People quickly determined that support was the only viable role because the scaling was weird for AP Twitch as an AD carry. Did not go great into the latest stages of the game. So I'm interested to see how and if Prismal is able to get around that.
I'm still kind of stunned by what we've seen. I didn't come here today with the intention of witnessing this. And the rest of No Org are suddenly real nervous about Prismal, by the way. I don't know if you've noticed that. There is literally
Gosh, I wonder why.
willing to step up to fight him. They are just pathing around him on the map. So want to see Golden Guardians use that aggressively, use him to build space around an objective like this Rift Herald that's up, or the Drake in about 5 minutes.
Fire potentially in trouble. Prismal breaks open, but that's going to be golden for Fire. Spear lands onto Prismal, but final chapter will zone off. Now the Ragnarocking Olaf into the middle of the fight. Pushes forward into the mid lane. Viper doesn't find the Mega Gnar, has to Stride Breaker out, but cannot find his way to safety. 10, 1, and 2 on Prismal's AP
still
Twitch.
Going behind the turret. He threatens Anda, realizes maybe that's a little too far. I don't want to see it again, Doc. This is a bad replay. Okay, so the team is around him, and that's real important because you can see that very correctly No Org are full focusing him. But Prismal just auto attacks away. Very clean flash over the top of Viper's engage. Other than that, it's just Prismal finding the auto attacks.
It really... It's hard for me to express where it went wrong, but it feels a lot like they have not been able to isolate him to the point where he's out of tools. Because he's going to have his own cleanse, he's going to have the heals from Chime, as we saw the final chapter from Chime. Exhaust is still up on Chime. There's so many tools for this AP Twitch to stay alive and just one-shot the entirety of No Org, and that's why they're struggling to take him down. Their game plan was burst him. They don't have enough burst anymore.
He's got a 10-stack Dark Seal now.
I would not be surprised to see that turn into the Medjai Soul Stealer.
God, I hope so.
Be brave,
he
Prismal.
is just roaming across the map looking for picks here. Rune Prison, maybe for Viper, that would seal the deal. It does. Rune Prison is triggered. Viper is
Dead!
Still dead!
Okay, Prismal. I super underrated this pick coming into this. I was not convinced by Twitch AD carry being a carry whatsoever, but it looks like No Org are set to lose the game right now.
Absolutely stunning. There's winning through your bottom lane, playing to your AD carry, and then there's your AD carry getting 11 kills and single-handedly dragging your team back from a 5k gold deficit. I mean, they're still at a 4k gold deficit.
Well, the overlay hasn't updated in about 5 minutes. It's as stunned by Prismal's play as we are.
Overlay. CC'd.
Well, there it goes. Morgana Bind ended. It is at 39k now for the side of GGA. So they found a gold lead of their own. Unsurprisingly, when you have a 12-1 AD carry.
Overlay got hit by Darkbinder.
It's going to be there for a while.
Can you show us the gold, Doc? Can you show us the gold distribution? I want to see exactly how much of this is on Prismal.
I'm going to guess at least half. I know that's a huge estimate, but wouldn't it be great if I were right? I'm not quite right, but I'm a lot closer than I should have been, aren't I?
That is uncomfortable.
More than a quarter of the gold.
Some income inequality right there. Prismal absolutely destroying. That shouldn't be enough to win the game, because theoretically, all you need to do is get Fire to full combo Prismal once, and they'll be able to turn this. But that is No Org's video game right now. In order to do anything, in order to achieve anything on the map, they must kill Prismal or ascertain his location. Right? You could see them rushing this Baron if they think Prismal isn't nearby, but the second they see Prismal, they're going to have to back off. Here's a Realm Warp. Threatened, not followed through on. But again, this Realm Warp threatened,
could have been
like, that could be Prismal. We just have to leave. We can't stay here.
It's a bad horror film now. They hear a knock at the door. Is it Prismal? I'm so scared.
Is it that rat? Death sentence. Ragnarok burned, he'll be fine.
Now, the real Prismal is looking for a flank into the middle of the team. Will be spotted, though.
This should be too far forward. You don't want to see Prismal here. Theoretically, that should be punishable. God, how much do you think he does to Baron?
A decent amount, as Fire just gets exploded in the mid lane.
He's
Viper's going to try and go for it.
Will be the final chapter, but Prismal's in trouble! They shut him down! He gets slept by Fire. His dying action. Baron was rushed in the meantime. Can they finish it? Rosethorn does have 500 HP, will complete it. Now can they get away?
Anda looking for it, Viper as well. Finds the ultimate, doesn't get a stun with it. Follows up onto Tally, stunned out. Rosethorn taken down. The chase is coming through. Anda does not find the spear, but pounces forward nonetheless, looking for more. One more spear coming out in a second, but will not be able to stop the push. 2 Barons left on the map.
Very, very good mitigation from Golden Guardians Academy. Not what they wanted, obviously, but the second Prismal goes down, you're looking at them as maybe losing everything. So the fact that they don't, the fact that they still have Baron buffs up, the fact that their minions in the meantime will just took down this turret, are all wins across the map.
They really just need
a lot of his stacks there on Dark Seal. I don't think that'll affect him too much, but it is something to monitor if he's hitting a little less hard.
So the problem at this point into the game is like 17-fold, because your win condition, as we established for no work, is you somehow stun Prismal and kill him. So here are the things in the way for that. You have 1, Banshees fail. 2, Zhonya's on the way, already has the stopwatch. 3, Cleanse. 4, Chime, and all that that entails. So in order to achieve this seemingly simple win condition, Noorg have to throw so many spells at Prismal. And at that point, can't Golden Guardians just clean up the rest of the fight off the back of it?
Well, I would have said no. I would have said they're too far behind, but not anymore. Because they have been able to get so much off the back of Prismal just quietly being a full carry in the meantime.
And I think a lot of it is off this combo as well. Chime picking up the Moonstone Manure with the Staff of Flowing Water. This combo is so powerful because it gives even more AP there for Prismal so that he can try and 1v1 Viper.
What is this? He's in their base, Matt. Will be stunned up. What are you doing, Prismal? You are your team's win condition. Viper CCs him, and Prismal dies for a second time. That is inexcusable.
This is what keeps happening for Golden Guardians when Prismal is super ahead. Sometimes he just overestimates his power. And I mean, honestly, this has been happening throughout the tournament. A lot of our carries who are singularly ahead believe that they can solo carry the game. And believe it or not, that is not the case for anyone. So now Prismal, having fallen, will slow down his team's momentum a little bit. But I don't think that was enough to get Noorg back into the driver's seat.
That is the second time that Prismal has thrown away what is good map positioning for GGA by just chasing kills. Limit testing, frankly. Prismal will be respawned onto the map now, and I think you're right that it doesn't put Noorg back in the driver's seat, but GGA and Noorg are pretty much tied in gold. This is anyone's game. This is
if you ever find a
video game.
If you ever find a fight without Prismal, that's just a win for Noorg. It really is all on Prismal, which is why we went so hard about that positioning error, is because when you are in such a unilateral position to win the game for your team, those mistakes are potentially game-losing by themselves.
And I just don't understand what the value add of being pushed forward there was. Like, he wasn't getting anything for the team. So, kind of boneheaded, Prismal, not gonna lie.
You hear that, Prismal?
Look at Fire just poking Sleepy Trouble Bubbles into where he thinks Prismal is, trying to just get that opportunity. We did see it once in the mid lane fight where Prismal went down. If Fire is able to Sleepy Trouble Bubble Prismal, that's basically your skill matchup. That will very likely determine the game.
Well, the unfortunate thing is, Fire had a really great early game, but it was all assists, so now he's 0-4-7, and when these do land, he doesn't have the ability to just one-shot off them.
Certainly do the follow-up there behind Anda's spear, death sentence, that sort of thing. So it should be enough to end the fight. I'll hold to that if we can get the longest CC on this team. Realm Warp away, won't bring Prismal with him. The bus is left and Prismal is still at the station. We'll circle back
to the driver. Good lap.
Oh, no, 5-fire.
Good death sentence to get 5-fire out. Heads up play there from Big. Being like, we haven't seen Prismal in a while, so I bet.
Oh, Viper.
Not able to find it.
They just blew the flash successfully. Prismal does not have flash. Cleanse is coming back up now, so they will have at least one option. But they are down one of their major escapes.
I think from here, the really deciding factor is this next Baron. Because I think if you can get the Baron buff, Golden Guardians start getting enough oomph behind people that are not named Prismal, that they can maybe pull back the game and Prismal is not the sole deciding factor. Because while that's the case, they're limited in the kinds of plays that they can make. The moment NoOrg know where Prismal is before Prismal knows where they are, they win the fight and potentially the game. And I think if Yunbi can suddenly start getting some gold, start getting ahead to the point where he is also a viable carry, that stops being the case, and NoOrg are no longer able to just win the game off one pick on Prismal. Or the fight,
I think Yunbi is who you're looking to be this secondary carry. And I don't want to sleep on value during this time, obviously dwarfed by the presence that Prismal is bringing. But value is late game Aphelios. Value is 7-4. Value will shred these team fights, especially after the early game they had.
There we go. It's a little bit of poke there onto Prismal. Doesn't have the Banshee's Veil. It's Viper playing up aggressively, trying to kite out and maybe force some abilities. Baron is up, and Dragon spawning in a few seconds.
Baron for NoOrg is their focus. They're shifting all of their players and vision up there. Prismal is being sent down towards the Drake right now by GGA. There is a Rift Scuffler there, procced, so NoOrg would know if he stepped on it. We'll see if GGA start it regardless, and they do. I don't think NoOrg know, or if they do, they're too scared of this push. Now they do, yeah.
But as a result, GGA back off. This is really brilliant use of Prismal's zoning potential here. They're like, sure, you now know, so we're going to back off and defend our AD carry, and there's nothing you can do about it. That now puts them on sole point, so in 5 minutes, they may just win the game outright.
And it looks like NoOrg aren't going to be able to get either of these objectives. Here's the poke in.
Looking to find it. Prismal has to run out. They're trying to find CC onto him, but Viper not able to find him in time. Stun comes out. TP from Yunbi into the backline. And Viper putting out so much CC, not able to find Prismal just yet, but they are chasing down onto him. Anda goes golden at the right side. Yunbi is forced out of the fight at the bottom. Anda as well. Finally falls down, but trades for Rosethorn. Prismal's up, goes golden, Value's alive, as is 5-fire. The burst is out. Prismal still lives. Finally falls down with the triple kill, but that is the full ace out for Golden Guardians Academy. As a full wave of minions pours into the Nexus. TJ, this series is going all the way.
Golden Guardians win game number 2. Off of a AP rat in the bottom lane and nothing else. They will have the minion wave here. There are not going to be respawns in time. And we are indeed going all the way to game 3 in our first quarterfinal as Prismal drags his team, kicking and screaming across the finish line.
Beautiful play there by Golden Guardians. They knew their win condition the moment Prismal started getting ahead. They played to it, and they tied up the series.
If I had to take a bet...